What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Tears Take. I'm Tierney, and I upload weekly reality recaps. If you love the Real Housewives as much as I do, then this is the channel for you. Today, I'm giving a review of the Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 16, Episode 10. It's called Meditation and Mediation. So I'm going to give you some of the main highlights of the episode, give you my reaction and my take, but I want to hear yours as well. So please leave me a comment below. If you are feeling my vibe and you want to hang out some more, please subscribe, hit the notification bell, and let's have some fun together. So let me just start with Shamea, Porsha, and Ralph having dinner. Porsha, your storyline's done. Because all this, I don't want Drew to film with Dennis, and I can't believe I just want him to pick me and Pilar. Girl, that's null and void now. That's null and void now. You can't, I just don't understand how you're the biggest hypocrite, and I didn't even know he was gonna be here. And I can't. Enough, Porsha. And Shamea, you ain't no better. I am so over you. You were clicking down for me last episode, and now the way that you go out of your way to defend and perform for Porsha to just get her approval and get that pat on the back, yeah, it gives a lapdog. And you want to say, oh, I'm just a loyal friend. No, there's a loyal friend. There's a good friend, and then there is somebody up someone else's behind. And, you know, we all can see the imbalance of that relationship. Girl, if you like it, we love it. But, you know, I know there's some problems with y'all right now. But, you know, if you fall back into the Porsha trap, have at it. I don't care. I know just to not really root for you anymore, because you're almost worse than Porsha, because you're kind of a wolf in sheep's clothing. I'm going to give you more on their dynamic a little later. We do see, so let me go back to this Ralph scene. Basically, he's lying. Like, I'm not going to go through the whole thing because he's a liar. You know, like, he's up here like, oh, I filed divorce, but it was proven that Drew filed first. So he's like, oh, I filed first because she was having an affair with Ty. And I do remember those rumors swirling around. There's nothing confirming that. And it's just like, I'm so sick of people like talking about Drew that way. She really hasn't bothered anyone this season. Like, was it a little, you know, shady and messy of her to film with Dennis? Yes. You know, that's not something I would have done. But she really hasn't really gone out of pocket to anyone, you know, towards anyone this season. Correct me if I'm wrong down below. And you know, so it's like, first someone is saying that she was slobbing Dennis's knob. Then Dennis is like, oh, someone's hitting it, I'm not. And then Ralph saying she was having an affair with some woman. Like, can y'all stop talking about Drew's, okay? That she hasn't done anything to y'all, and y'all are really consumed with what is going on between her legs. So I don't know, Ralph is just lying. He's, you know, he met up with Shamea under the guise of wanting to talk about a podcast, and Shamea was like, oh yeah, I'm always there to talk about work, and, you know, I just don't want to look crazy, so I'm going to invite Porsha. And it's just like, you know what you're doing. And it's like, they ain't talk about nothing work related. They were just getting in Drew's business. And Porsha, if someone sat down with Simon and was like, oh, so did you cheat? Did Porsha cheat? Did you tell me about this? You would have tore up that whole set. I am so done with the double standards. I'm so over you, Porsha. You came back. It was such a disappointment. I wasn't one of those people super excited to see you come back. I was more so excited that we had a familiar face and that you were going to kind of anchor the show with Kenya. So I was in that camp. But I mean, we've seen who you are over the years, and I've been side-eyeing you ever since that Candy situation. You know, you're funny and you're cute and you're this and you're that. So it's very easy to overlook some things, but you're diabolical and you play victim and you're a bad friend and you lie and you're just not anyone you sleep with husbands. Like, you're just not my kind of chick, you know? And so, you're just bleh. And Shamea, you ride up under her, so you're bleh too. But, yeah, they were just like asking Ralph all these personal questions, talking about Drew, saying, Drew was talking about Porsha's child, and Ralph was sitting there asking them, oh, is she still doing Go Naked? Like, he up here trying to get all this information. Like, y'all don't know what he's doing. They're going through a divorce. So you don't know if he's going to be trying to use some of that against her in court. Like, y'all so low down and dirty. Like, not that you need to, show up to court with her and, like, be best friends with her, but, like, to sit with her man in the middle of a divorce, y'all are trifling. Y'all are trifling. I don't want to hear sisterhood. I don't want to hear, I want to empower Black women. I don't want to hear any of that because y'all are so full of it. And if someone did that to y'all, if someone sat down with Gerald, if someone sat down next to your abusive ex, Shamea, if someone sat down with Simon, Cordell, whoever else, you lost it over Dennis, it would be a whole different story. Oh, anyway, so yeah, we didn't get a whole lot. Oh. The other thing that came out of that scene was Porsha like, oh, well, I heard that, nothing happened between them because Drew tried and Dennis said, no, I don't want that. I just want me my money. And so the text that she had that she was talking about last episode, it basically said, I don't want to F you, or I won't F you. I just want to get some money, or something like that. Now, the way that it reads, sure, somebody with a 3rd grade reading level could interpret it literally, I don't want to sleep with you and give me my money. But the way that I interpreted it could be, I won't F you, meaning I won't screw you over. I won't manipulate you. I won't take your money. I won't take advantage of this situation. Let's just go get this paper. Let's just go do a good job and, like, get this job done. That's how I took it. And there's probably a fuller conversation that fills in that context, because otherwise, I don't know. I just don't see any man, especially Dennis, like, saying that to someone like Drew. And I don't see Drew pressing up on Dennis. And if she were trying to do that, there would have been way more salacious texts to show that. And it wouldn't be that one little line, I won't F you, let's go get this money. It would have been Drew like, oh yeah, like, let me see this and let me do this and it would have been whole other things that Porsha would have had in her back pocket to pull out and bring all her little receipts. Like, let's be so for real right now. So that was the one thing that popped out. Angela, I still really like you as a cast member. She meets up with Kelli. She's showing Kelli one of her investment properties because it's ready for the market. She thinks it's ready for the market. Pool's not even filled, but it's ready for the market. Kelli's looking for a new home. And so she wants to, potentially sell it to Kelli. So they do a cute little walkthrough, and girl, that house, it was not $3 million. Not in Atlanta. That might have been $3 million, maybe somewhere up north, but Atlanta, $3 million, woohoo, can get you way more. But anyway, she sits down with Kelli and basically clears up the Charles side baby comments. So she basically said that Wendy Williams got it twisted. She didn't say what all the news reports are saying. She basically acknowledged that Charles had cheated on her, but that was a separate issue, and that she dealt with a side baby in her previous relationship before Charles, and Wendy got mixed up. So she is adamant that there's no side baby. Charles at one point did cheat on her. It was right around the Madison Square Garden incident, and he needed validation. And, you know, girl, if you want to make excuses for him, fine. You stayed with him, fine. I don't agree with it, but if you're happy and you like it, I love it. So she cleared it up. And that was that. After that, they started just talking about some of the group dynamics and talking about the Porsha and Shamea dynamic. And, you know, we'll talk about that in a little bit. But it seems like they're in a good spot after the Bailey Q, because they had a little bit of a back and forth when Kelly's like, oh, what about that side, baby? And all that. Seems like they're in an okay place. So that's great. So Angela hosts Porsha at another rental property, and she was like, I'm going to bring her to my rental property because she up here talking about she going to F my husband. We're moving on, but we ain't that cool. So rental property it is. I said, I know that's right. So she hosts Porsha. They're playing tennis, being silly, and, you know, they're trying to move on. Basically, Angela's working. So after they play tennis, they sit down and they're talking about Shamea. And Angela is basically like, you know, I feel like Shamea is, after some conversations I've had with the group and her, you know, Shamea is really trying to shake off this lapdog image. And she feels like the relationship she may feel lopsided. And when she told Porsha that, Porsha had a big fan because she was sitting there fanning herself. She was hot. She went and covered her face with the fan. Now, immediately, I thought she was laughing. I thought she was like, oh, here we go. This girl's crazy. And I thought she was covering her face laughing. Lo and behold, she's up here. Listen, not to say the tears weren't real. I don't think they were real. I don't think she cares about Shamea that much to sit up here and cry tears over something that, A, you do, and it's not hard to see, and B, you've probably heard that before. That cannot be the first time you've heard that before. So I don't know where the tears were coming from. Not sure if there were actual tears, but, you know, she was up here whimpering and crackling her voice. And so I didn't believe it. Or I will say, if she was crying, it wasn't over Shamea. It might have just been, oh, I already look like a husband stealer, and now I look like a bad friend. I think it might have been from an ego, a bruised ego and a bruised image, versus, oh, wow, I really hurt my friend, and I feel really bad about that. I don't think she was crying about that. Okay, so we'll touch on Britt really fast. I don't watch her personal scenes for the most part, but she did mention that her husband sat down and met with her sister, and they're starting to work things out. They cleared the air, and, you know, they feel like they're in a good place. And I'm just like, girl, I don't care. Like, is this what you have? Anyway, I complain about her every recap, review, whatever. So moving on. And listen, once again, I almost forgot about Drew. She had to sit down with her life coach, therapist, whatever he was. I think that's the same guy that Giselle saw. So take that however you want to take it. But she's been seeing him for a minute, and she was basically like, oh, you know, these people are saying things about me and things that aren't true. And, you know, the coach was like, okay, girl, keep your head up. It was very basic advice. I'm like, okay, girl, like, how much you paying this? So yeah, it was a very short scene. Drew, this is not, I recommend that you take a step back, Drew. Cause I literally every review, every time I get in this chair to talk about the show, you are an afterthought. And you've been on this show, what, 3-4 years? Maybe 5, maybe? It's been a minute. And yeah, because there was season 16. You were definitely there for the Bolo season. I think that's when you came on. Okay, so you about 3 years. So, anyways, step it up, Drew. So let's dive into the dynamic between Porsha and Shamea. So things came to a head at Porsha's Pampered by Porsha event. So Porsha has had a line of bed sheets called Pampered by Porsha. She was doing some sort of event or launch or something for her sheets. She invited the ladies to come in lingerie and have like a little pamper party. And she also invited them into like taking some group pictures with her product. Drew was me because Drew was like, are we getting paid for this? Like, is this marketing? Is this going to be a promotion? Like, what is happening? Because you will not sit up here and drag my name through the mud and then use my likeness to sell some damn sheets. So Drew was me in that situation. Porsha was trying to get some free models and some free, some easy content for her business IG, but go off, Porsha. But basically, during this pamper party, Porsha's sister Lauren leads a meditation, and then after the meditation, wanted to do a sister circle. So during the meditation, Shamea was tight. She couldn't even lay down. So basically, before the meditation, Kelli shares with Shamea that Porsha has been talking to Angela about their friendship, and Angela had told Porsha how Shamea has been feeling, and Porsha got upset over it. And so Shamea was really mad, and she's just really offended that these women are just all in her friendship with Porsha. And so during this like sister circle, Kelli brings up like, hey, I think there's like some tension between Shamea and Porsha, so like, why don't you guys clear it up? And basically, they did not really resolve anything. It was very much like passive aggressive, very much like Shamea was like, oh, I just want to know like why you're talking about our friendship and I don't talk about our friendship. And, I can't believe you're letting these women get in our way. And I'm like, Shamea, you do talk about the friendship. You do. You're afraid to like say anything directly. And she's like, oh no, anything I've said to you guys, I've said to her. And, I just can't believe she's like bringing this up or, believing what other people may have twisted stories on and things like that. It was very victim-y. And I don't even like Porsha, okay? But then Porsha did a reverse Uno and she was playing victim and she's like, oh, okay, well, I'm just a POS. I'm just a POS. I'm the bad friend. You're the good friend. Fine. And they didn't really resolve anything. They more so just squashed it and was just like, let's move on. Let's not fight here. So it's definitely going to carry through the rest of the season. And I mean, it's still going on now, which is a shame. So let's break this down a little bit. Basically, the dynamic between Shamea and Porsha, to me, even though they've known each other a very long time and they have, they have a lot of history, the dynamic that I can think of to relate them as is very Cynthia and Nene coded, meaning you have a big personality, Nene, Porsha, who is kind of like the fun one, but also the one who gets the most criticism. Also the one who can be villainized in this friendship. They're the loudest. So they're the easiest person to kind of poke holes and find fault and all of that. And they're not without fault. So that's true. But two things can be true. And while we are looking at Nene and Porsha, and they seem like the big bad wolf, we have Cynthia and Shamea over here, and they're not the innocent angel. In the words of Nene, Cynthia ain't no damn angel. Like, they're not the little angels that they try to paint themselves to be. They kind of automatically fall into this secondary, weaker, meeker character. And I think they enjoy that because it's almost like a safer place to be. And I'm quieter, I'm nicer, I'm sweeter, I'm kinder. I'm not shady like her. I don't confront people like her. And it's like y'all are more alike than you want to admit, but you play into the public's perception that you are just like this docile lapdog, follower. Like, some of it's true, but you also play into it and you play it up because while Porsha has her faults, and I think Porsha is a terrible friend, Shamea, you have talked about her. You do add sauce to stories to rile Porsha up. You do go out of her way to rah Porsha. Just like at the dinner with Ralph, Porsha had to check you, Shamea, because they started talking about how Angela got mad at how Angela was more mad at Shamea for laughing at Porsha's disrespectful comment about wanting to F Charles. She was more mad at Shamea than she was at Porsha for making the comment. And so Shamea was like kind of joking, but kind of serious, like, oh, I take all the hits and I'm just, I take all the bullets because I'm friends with you and I'm your loyal friend. And I just get all of the bullets. And Porsha was like, oh, hold up now. You're accountable for what you do. You still laughed and she's mad at you for laughing. So don't pull me into it and don't compare what you did to me. And you need to be accountable for what you did. I said, ooh, because Shamea was up here, trying to be in your favor. And as soon as she kind of was looking for a little bit of that reciprocity and wanting, her friend to be on her side, Porsha said, hold up. And so that's really the dynamic of the relationship. It seems like, I think it's deeper for Porsha and Shamea because they've known each other longer, but maybe it's not that deep because just because you know someone a long time doesn't mean it's a deep friendship. We all have people, oh yeah, I knew her since 3rd grade, but I don't know her middle name. We never talked on the phone in the past 6 years. You have different relationships with different people, and the length of time doesn't mean anything. So just because they've known each other since middle school and they have cute little pictures from high school and middle school, that doesn't mean that they were really ingratiated in each other's lives. Maybe they were at one point and grew apart. Things like that happen. And maybe they're just both kind of leaning on that history, 1, for the show, but 2, it's familiar, it's easy. So like there's a lot probably there, but I think like surface show wise, I think it's very Nene, Porsha, Cynthia, Shamea. They enjoy that like good girl image. I'm not shady. I'm not that. Like Cynthia I feel like plays into that. But Cynthia, you are shady. Kenya told us you were trying to get the cookie lady to come to an event to confront Tanya. Like you do little side sniper things that you did the inviting Kenya to the event and not telling Nene and not giving her the heads up of like, hey girl, I'm inviting Kenya. And then you're whispering in Mark's ear, I got to pretend that I didn't know that Kenya's coming. Like you do weird little side sniper stuff like that. But then you on the outside, you want to be seen as, I'm just a loyal friend. I'm not shady. I love everyone. I'm just here. No, you're not. And we all have flaws. We all, we're all shady. We all talk about people behind their backs. We all do, a level of things that are not the most above board. But like I said, it's way easier when we're looking at Porsha and Nene. It's easier to say, oh my gosh, they're so mean. Porsha beating people up in the back alley. So we're able to overlook some of the things that Shamea does, like running back stories incorrectly, sitting down with Ralph. Like, Shamea, you are just as bad. You're just not loud and brazen with it. So, I'm going to see, as long as I watch this season, I'm interested to see how this plays out. We know what's happening currently, but we'll see whether there's any makeup and breakups in between. But that's my take on them. Let me know your thoughts. Do you agree with me on the Porsha Shamea dynamic? What are you hoping to see out of that relationship? Do you want them to make up, or are you like they need to go their separate ways? Let me know your thoughts below. This was an okay episode. Time will tell how the rest of the season goes, but I'm going to leave it here, y'all. I think that those were the main points of this episode. And so we're going to leave it here, but I really appreciate you watching. I hope you have a fantastic day. Please like, comment, and subscribe if this was your vibe. And thank you so much for rocking with me. I will talk to you guys in the next video. Bye.